Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So Twitter has a very big problem when it comes to representation in fictional characters. Twitter users will take fictional characters and force identities onto them that either don't apply or they horribly backfire. Headcanon is one thing. If you want to believe something about a character in your own mind, that's totally fine. But the second you come out and say, my headcanon is the law, and if you disagree with me, you're either wrong or even a bigot, that's when things go a little bit too far. And today we're going to look at a couple examples pertaining to that. So full disclosure, today I'm going to be on the road. I'm recording this early in the morning, and I was going to start off with some Bocchi the Rock headcanon drama, but I saw this quickly before recording and I had to stick it in the front, okay? This is crazy. So Spanish Twitter has been eating this tweet alive. It is saying, come to think of it, Nagisa is literally a trans guy. Now, Nagisa is from Assassination Classroom, and if you're any bit familiar with that franchise, you probably just recoiled reading this tweet. But for those who don't know, Nagisa is basically the textbook definition of a grooming victim. He was a son born to a single mother who was very mentally ill, and that mother wanted a daughter. That was the only option. They wanted a daughter, and that was it. And when he was born, she was greatly disappointed, so she forced him to cross-dress and act feminine, and anytime Nagisa would protest this treatment, they were verbally abused by their mother. Yes, textbook definition of grooming. It reminds some people of the whole Bridget situation, similar forced identity, but this is not one where the authors came out and said something different about them being trans or not. This is all we know. This is all the official lore behind this character, right? So this tweet is crazy. It is a crazy tweet. It is literally saying, we want a trans rep that is a grooming victim. That is not a good look. Okay, again, as I always say, pursue more original, organically written trans characters instead of forcing this identity onto characters where it doesn't apply. And even worse, in situations where they are grooming victims. This is pretty messed up if you ask me. But returning to the original plan for this video, we're going to start with this tweet right here. A Bocchi the Rock, quote-unquote, fan saying, I hate people who ship canonical or implied lesbians with men. Stop effing doing that. Basically, no. People can ship whatever they want. That's kind of the whole point of fictional characters and their related ships. But this whole concept of you're not allowed to ship lesbian or implied lesbian, whatever that means, characters with men is so hypocritical, because I wonder what this person's opinion is of straight male characters being shipped with other men. I guarantee they don't have the same level of discomfort with that. I mean, that's the majority of what yaoi is, right? It's a lot of straight characters being shipped with other straight male characters. That's just how the whole thing functions. And I guarantee they don't have a problem with that. But this user would come out and clarify what they meant by this. And they say, this tweet was inspired by me remembering this Reddit post and being filled with so much hate and contempt. And the Reddit post says, which among them will get a boyfriend first? Yes. Seeing the hypothetical which Bocchi the Rock character will get a boyfriend first made this person filled with hate and contempt. That is absolutely insane. Like, this whole idea of like these characters being lesbians is not really supported by anything. But I have to say this, and I say it with all due respect, of course. It's sad to see someone who clearly is very friendless and touch-starved, where they see female characters having bonds with each other, having friendships, and they immediately think, they must be gay. Like, that's not how friendships work. It's very sad to see people think that just an innocent friendship between female characters means something either sexual or romantic, when in reality they're just bonding. It's so strange and just sad to me. to see tweets like this. And like I said, there's virtually no proof that these characters are lesbians. And here is really the only thing close to evidence that at least Hitori might have a slight or possible interest in women. So this is a manga panel that we talked about before in a video a few months ago. People were looking at this and pointing to it as proof that Hitori is a lesbian. And then others were saying, well, you have bad reading comprehension. It doesn't prove anything. So the issue is, how do you read this panel? The people who say this is proof that Hitori is a lesbian, they read it like this. It says, I'm good at games. Aren't I a genius? I can become a pro gamer, get a sponsorship, a cosplayer girlfriend. And of course, people also claim that you read it like this. I'm good at games. Aren't I a genius? I become a pro gamer, a cosplayer girlfriend, get a sponsorship. Depending on how you read that will likely influence how you view Hitori's possible sexuality. But here's the thing. Even if you read it the way that says that she wants a cosplayer girlfriend, do bisexual people not exist? Why is Twitter so weird with this stuff? It is like literally black or white. There's no in between. If she has any interest in women, bam, she's 100% lesbian. It's over, man. It's completely over. But yeah, that's the tweet everyone's talking about right now. It's very strange. Any sort of concept of shipping male characters or even proposing the idea of female characters having boyfriends is often muddied down by this weird headcanon, often revolving around their friendships being implied as more by Twitter users like this. And yeah, that's it for the Bocchi the Rock stuff. But we are all familiar with this recent representation issue going on involving Gwen Stacy from the Spider-Man franchise. We've seen tweets like this. We've covered in other videos. I'll link my video going over this tweet in particular that goes in depth. I'll put it in the description. I don't want to go through all of my reasonings and holes I poke in these theories proving that Gwen Stacy is trans, but it just has not stopped over the past couple of days. It only gets worse. So this tweet saying Gwen Stacy is trans with no source, and somehow it gets 18,000 likes. Now, I think tweets like this are made largely just to get a rise out of people, and that's pretty much what I think is the case here. But their follow-up tweet, after getting a lot of hates and people poking holes in their simple and unproven theory, they said, in all honesty, why would it even matter if she's trans or not when the core of her character is still intact? I think the difference of Gwen being trans or not is a pretty big shift in the core of her character. It might not exactly change the framework of the story, but I think that difference would play a role in changing the core of her character. I think that is a noticeable difference, right? Being trans or not might influence how a person is, right? But this whole idea of it doesn't even matter. I'll ask the people on Twitter, does it even matter, who are fighting life and death to claim that Gwen Stacy is trans despite no official sources saying that. It's a very weird hill people are dying on, but we got kind of the good ending with this one. They got fact-checked. The community notes came by and added this disclaimer onto this tweet saying, while the film never explicitly claimed that Gwen Stacy is transgender, some believe that her character arc, which includes a coming out of sorts, functions as a trans allegory. Official sources do not currently support the notion that Gwen Stacy is transgender, which is pretty on par with what I said in my previous videos about this whole topic. The whole, accepting herself arc of this latest film that Gwen Stacy goes through is very relatable to trans people, obviously. But I think the narrative of accepting yourself, that story arc, is relatable to not only trans people, but everyone. Everyone has to deal with accepting yourself in some other form, and everyone struggles in their own way with it. So it's not like a narrative that only trans people own. So if that arc is featured with a character, that character must be trans. That's way too much of a reach. But it just continues on the Twitter. Another one, this tweet was funny because it confused people so much. The reactions to this are so mixed. It says, might trigger a few people. Gwen Stacy is a biological female with 86,000 likes and 3,000 quotes. You have people saying, yep, this is proof she's a woman and just is nothing to do with trans. And then some people are saying, well, actually, if they're a biological female, they could also be trans because they're transitioning from a woman. And then some people are saying, oh, this is proof that they're trans and they're also, they went from biological male to biological female, and like all these crazy arguments. And honestly, it's just too much. I'm kind of just done with the Gwen Stacy stuff. It's clearly going nowhere. Nobody's changing their mind about anything. And yeah, enough of this debate. We're just going to move on because I don't want this to turn into a Bridget 2.0 situation where people are talking about it still in 2023, over a year since the whole controversy rose up. And yeah, we're going to move on. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.